You think you're lazy, but the truth is, you're just undisciplined. And until you fix that, nothing in your life will change.
You think you're lazy. That's what you keep telling yourself. That's what you've started believing. Every time you delay something, every time you avoid work, every time you choose comfort over effort, you say the same thing. I'm just lazy. But what if that's not true? What if the real problem is not laziness, but lack of discipline? Because laziness is a label. It's something you call yourself when you don't understand what's really happening. It's easy to say, I'm lazy, because it removes responsibility. It makes it sound like something you can't control, like it's part of who you are. But discipline is different. Discipline is a skill, and skills can be built. So the real question is not, why am I lazy? The real question is, why haven't I built discipline yet? And that changes everything. Because now you're not stuck, now you're not broken, now you're not limited, now you have control. Think about it. There are things you are not lazy about, things you enjoy, things you care about. You do them without hesitation. You don't need motivation. You don't need someone to push you. You just do them. So clearly, you are not lazy. You are just selective with your effort. And that means your problem is not your ability to act. Your problem is your ability to act when you don't feel like it. That is discipline. Most people only act when they feel like it, when the mood is right, when the energy is there, when everything feels easy. But those moments are rare. And if your actions depend on those moments, your progress will always be inconsistent. Some days you will do everything. Some days you will do nothing. And that's exactly why your life doesn't change. Because progress requires consistency, and consistency requires discipline. Not motivation, not mood, not perfect conditions, discipline. And here's the truth most people don't want to accept. Discipline is uncomfortable. It forces you to do things you don't feel like doing. It forces you to go against your natural tendency to avoid effort. It forces you to face resistance every single day. And your mind hates that. Your mind wants comfort, it wants ease, it wants pleasure, it wants to avoid pain. So it creates excuses. It tells you to rest, it tells you to wait, it tells you that you'll start tomorrow. And if you listen to that voice, you lose. Not immediately, but slowly. Day by day, decision by decision, you build a pattern of avoidance. You train yourself to escape effort. You reinforce the habit of doing nothing. And over time, that becomes your identity. You start believing that you are lazy. But the truth is, you trained yourself to be this way. And if you trained yourself into it, you can train yourself out of it. That's the part most people ignore, because it requires effort. It requires awareness. It requires you to catch yourself in those moments when you want to avoid work and choose differently. And that is not easy, because in that moment, your brain will fight you. It will give you every reason to stop. It will make comfort feel more important than progress. And if you give in, nothing changes. But if you resist, even once, something powerful happens. You break the pattern. You show yourself that you can act despite resistance. And that is the beginning of discipline. It doesn't happen overnight. It's not something you suddenly wake up with. It is built through small decisions, repeated over time. Every time you do what you said you would do, you strengthen it. Every time you avoid it, you weaken it. So discipline is not about big actions. It's about small actions, done consistently. It's about showing up when you don't feel like it. It's about doing the work even when it's boring. It's about choosing long-term growth over short-term comfort. And this is where most people fail. They want big results, but they don't respect small actions. They underestimate the power of consistency. They think they need motivation, inspiration, or some big change to start. But the truth is, you don't need any of that. You just need to act right now. Not tomorrow, not later, now. Because every time you delay, you reinforce the habit of delay. Every time you act, you reinforce the habit of action. And over time, that becomes who you are. So stop calling yourself lazy. That label is holding you back. Instead, understand the real problem. You don't lack ability. You don't lack potential. You lack discipline. And the moment you accept that, you take back control. Because discipline is something you can build. It's something you can improve. It's something you can master.
but only if you start, only if you stop waiting, only if you take responsibility for your actions. So the next time you feel like avoiding something, the next time your mind tells you to delay, the next time comfort feels easier than effort, remember this: you're not lazy. You're just undisciplined, and that means you can change.
Now that you understand you're not lazy, the real question is, why are you still not taking action? If the problem is discipline, then what is stopping you from building it? And the answer is simple, but most people don't want to accept it. You are addicted to comfort. Comfort is easy. It feels good in the moment. It gives you instant relief. When something feels difficult, your mind looks for the easiest way out. It tells you to rest, to scroll, to delay, to do anything except the thing that actually matters. And every time you listen, you strengthen that habit. Over time, this becomes your default behavior. You don't even think about it anymore. You automatically choose comfort over effort. You automatically avoid anything that feels hard. And that's why you feel stuck. Because growth does not happen in comfort. Growth happens in discomfort. And if you keep avoiding discomfort, you are avoiding growth. This is the cycle most people live in. They want results, but they avoid the process that creates those results. They want success, but they avoid the habits that lead to success. They want change, but they avoid the actions that create change. And then they wonder why nothing is improving. The truth is, nothing will change until your behavior changes. Not your thoughts, not your intentions, your actions. And that starts with one simple shift: stop chasing comfort. Because comfort is the biggest distraction in your life. It makes you feel busy without making progress. It keeps you entertained without making you better. It gives you short-term satisfaction at the cost of long-term success. And the worst part is, it feels normal. Everyone around you is doing the same thing. Everyone is choosing the easy path. Everyone is avoiding effort, so it feels okay to do the same. But average behavior leads to average results. And if you want something different, you have to act differently. That means doing what most people avoid. That means choosing effort over ease. That means doing the work when you don't feel like it. And this is where discipline begins. Not when it's easy, but when it's hard. Not when you feel motivated, but when you don't. Not when everything is perfect, but when everything feels against you. Because those are the moments that matter. Those are the moments that build strength. Those are the moments that change you. So instead of asking, how do I stay motivated? Start asking a better question. How do I act even when I'm not motivated? And the answer is simple. You stop negotiating with yourself. Most people treat their goals like options. They say, I'll do it if I feel like it. And when they don't feel like it, they don't do it. But if you want discipline, you can't treat your goals like options. You have to treat them like obligations. Something that must be done, no matter what. No excuses, no delays, no negotiations. Because every time you negotiate, you give your mind a chance to escape. And your mind will always choose the easier option. So remove the choice. Decide once and then follow through. If you said you will wake up early, you wake up early. If you said you will work, you work. If you said you will improve, you take action. No questions, no debate, just action. And at first, it will feel hard, very hard, because you are going against years of habits, years of choosing comfort, years of avoiding effort. But that's normal. Change is supposed to feel uncomfortable because you are becoming someone new. And that process takes effort. But if you stay consistent, something starts to shift. The resistance becomes weaker, the actions become easier, the habits become stronger, and slowly, discipline becomes part of who you are. You no longer rely on feelings. You no longer wait for motivation. You simply do what needs to be done. And that is when your life starts to change. Not because things got easier, but because you got stronger. So stop trying to feel ready. Stop trying to feel motivated. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. It doesn't exist. Start now. Do the work. Stay consistent. And build discipline one action at a time. Now that you understand discipline is the real problem, the next step is building a system that actually makes discipline possible. Because here's the truth, willpower alone is not enough. You cannot rely on motivation every day. You cannot expect yourself to suddenly become perfect. What you need is structure. You need a system that makes the right actions easier and the wrong actions harder. Most people fail not because they don't want to change, but because they don't have a clear system. They depend on feelings, and feelings are unreliable. Some days you feel strong, some days you feel weak. If your actions depend on that, your progress will always be inconsistent. So instead of relying on how you feel, you need to create a routine. Something simple, something repeatable, something you can follow every day without thinking too much. Because the less you think, the less you negotiate with yourself. Start small. Don't try to fix everything at once. That's a mistake most people make. They try to change their entire life in one day, and when they fail, they go back to their old habits. Instead, pick 1 or 2 things that actually matter and commit to them. For example, waking up at a fixed time, or working for 1 hour without distraction, or exercising daily. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it moves you forward. The goal is not perfection. The goal is consistency, because consistency builds identity. Every time you repeat an action, you reinforce that identity. If you wake up early every day, you become someone who wakes up early. If you work daily, you become someone who works daily. And over time, that becomes natural. But here's something important. Make it easy to start. If your system is too hard, you won't follow it. If you set unrealistic goals, you will fail. So lower the barrier. Make it so simple that you can't say no. Instead of saying, I will work for 5 hours, start with 30 minutes. Instead of saying, I will exercise for 2 hours, start with 20 minutes. Instead of saying, I will change everything, start with 1 habit. Because starting is the hardest part. Once you start, it becomes easier to continue. And once you build consistency, you can increase the intensity. Another important thing is removing distractions, because discipline is not just about doing the right things, it's also about avoiding the wrong things. If your environment is full of distractions, your focus will always break. Your phone, social media, unnecessary notifications, these are all stealing your attention. And if you don't control them, they will control you. So make it harder to get distracted. Put your phone away, turn off notifications, create a space where you can focus. Because focus is a skill, and like any skill, it improves with practice. And the more you protect your focus, the stronger your discipline becomes. Now let's talk about one more important thing. Tracking your actions. Most people don't track anything. They don't know how consistent they are. They don't know how many days they actually follow through. And because of that, they lose awareness. So start tracking. It can be simple. Mark an X on a calendar every day you complete your task, or write it down in a notebook, or use an app. It doesn't matter how you do it. What matters is that you see your progress. Because when you see a streak, you don't want to break it. And that creates momentum. Momentum is powerful. It keeps you going. It makes discipline easier, and the longer you maintain it, the stronger it becomes. But there will be days when you fail, days when you skip, days when you feel like giving up, and that's normal. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is not to quit. If you miss one day, don't miss the next. If you fail once, don't fail twice. Because one mistake is an accident, but repeated mistakes become a habit. So forgive yourself quickly, but get back on track immediately. That is discipline, not perfection. Consistency. And over time, all of this adds up. Your routine becomes stronger, your habits become automatic, your mindset becomes focused, and your life starts to change. Not in a dramatic way, but in a real way. Because now you are no longer depending on motivation. You are following a system, and systems create results. So stop waiting for motivation. Stop depending on feelings. Build a system, follow it daily, stay consistent, and let your actions create the life you want.
In the end, everything comes down to one simple decision. Who are you going to be? Not in words, not in thoughts, but in actions. Because your life is not shaped by what you say you want. It is shaped by what you do every single day. Right now, you have 2 choices. You can keep living the way you have been living, choosing comfort, avoiding effort, delaying your goals, and staying exactly where you are. Or you can decide to change. You can decide to take control, to build discipline, and to start doing what needs to be done. And here's the truth. No one is going to make that decision for you. No one is going to come and force you to wake up early. No one is going to push you to work when you don't feel like it. No one is going to stop you from wasting time. It's all on you. And that might sound harsh, but it's actually your biggest advantage. Because it means you are not dependent on anyone else. It means your progress is in your hands. It means you have the power to change everything. But only if you act. Most people wait for a reason to start. They wait for motivation. They wait for inspiration. They wait for the perfect moment. But the perfect moment never comes. There is only now. And what you do right now will decide where you end up. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Because every day you repeat the same habits, you stay the same person. And every day you choose different actions, you become someone new. That is how transformation works, not in one big moment, but in small decisions made consistently. And those decisions are not always easy. Some days you will feel tired. Some days you will feel unmotivated. Some days you will want to quit. But those are the days that matter the most, because those are the days where you prove to yourself who you really are. Anyone can work when they feel good. Anyone can act when it's easy. But not everyone can act when it's hard. Not everyone can stay consistent when there is no reward. Not everyone can push through discomfort. And that is exactly why most people stay average, because they stop when it gets difficult. They go back to comfort. They go back to their old habits, and they repeat the same cycle again and again. But you don't have to. You can break that cycle. You can choose differently. You can decide that you are no longer going to be controlled by your feelings. You are no longer going to depend on motivation. You are no longer going to delay your life. You are going to act, no matter what. Because at the end of the day, discipline is not something you talk about. It's something you prove. You prove it through your actions, through your consistency, through your ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. And once you start doing that, something changes inside you. You start respecting yourself. You start trusting yourself. You start believing in your ability to follow through. And that confidence becomes your strength. Not fake confidence, not temporary motivation, but real confidence built through action. And that is what makes you different. That is what separates you from the person you used to be. Because now you are not someone who avoids effort. You are someone who faces it. You are not someone who waits. You are someone who acts. You are not someone who makes excuses. You are someone who takes responsibility. And that identity changes everything. Because once you see yourself that way, you can't go back. You can't go back to being lazy. You can't go back to avoiding work. You can't go back to wasting time. Because you know what you are capable of, and you know what it takes. So from this moment, make a decision. Not a small decision, not a temporary one, but a real decision. Decide that you are done making excuses. Decide that you are done waiting. Decide that you are done being undisciplined. And then prove it. Not with words, with actions. Start today. Start now. Do one thing you have been avoiding, and then do it again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day. Because that is how discipline is built. One action at a time, one day at a time, until it becomes who you are. And once it becomes who you are, your life will change. Not because of luck, not because of motivation, but because you became the person who takes action. And that is the person who wins.